Hello, welcome back to Greenhill Junction. Right, this video is going back to looking at points and how to power them. Now if you watched my video a few months ago on how to fit electrofrog points, I showed you how you can simply put them in the layout with no modification, no point motors, no polarity switches, and they're good to go. And that's what I've done in my whole layout, and they've been absolutely fine. I'm not going to go over how you do it. If you want to see that one, if you just click on the link at the top of your screen, and you'll be able to watch that video. What I am going to do in this video is show you how I intend to get permanent power to the frogs. Now, I'm sure most of you will know what the frogs are, but just to show you, the frog of the point is this bit here. The point and the point, if you get the point. Now, that and all electrofrogs, this is a spare point, it's exactly the same. So you see, that's your frog there, and there's a wire coming out the back of it. Now what I've done on all my points is I've drilled through the baseboard and put that wire through so I can access it from underneath the board. Now currently my points are powered by the track via contact between the switch blades. So the issue there is if that gets dirty in there, the power can be lost. And as I found out when I ballasted, because that's basically when you just put a whole load of glue and water down on your track, I did lose connectivity in some of my points. And I had to get the IPA and a cotton bud and get right in there and clean it so that the connectivity between the switchblade would then power the frog and allow everything to move over. Now, there is a way to get permanent power to the frog without without depending on the connectivity there. And what I'm going to do is I'll set up a sort of mock circuit to show you how it's done. It's really easy. Don't switch off. Don't think, oh my god, he's going to complicate the electronics. It's no more complicated than wiring droppers to your track. Alright, so bear with me. I'll set it up and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Right, what I'm going to use to power my frogs is this. It's a Gaugemaster DC-C80 Autofrog. It's quite a clever wee bit of electronics. Here's one out of the packet. So basically this is connected to your bus wire via there and there. And it doesn't matter which way around, whether that's positive or negative, whether that's positive, negative, all it needs to be is either or. So if that's positive, that has to be negative. If that's negative, that needs to be positive, if that makes sense. Your frog wire from the point is then connected onto there. This is all done via soldering, by the way. And therefore the frog there has a permanent power supply independent of the switchblades. Now what this does is this senses the incoming wheels. So when a train's coming down onto the frog or going up onto the frog, it senses what polarity the wheel is that's touching the frog, and apparently in nanoseconds switches the polarity of the frog to the correct, whether it's positive or negative, and the train happily trundles on. So you've got both your power going into that, positive and negative, your point connected to it, and via electronic wizardry, which I don't know anything about, it instantaneously switches the polarity of that to what it needs to be to prevent any short circuits. Now, as I said, it's no more complicated than wiring droppers to your track. So if you pretend that this is my bus wire, okay, this is the actual wire I use, the brown and the blue, and it's running under the baseboard. Now what I would do is I would connect up droppers via these clamps, and if you want to see how I do all this, there's a link up at the top of the screen for laying the DCC bus wire. Okay, now if I was only doing one of these, that would be all I would need to do. I would solder the end of that onto there, I would solder the end of that onto there, and bob your uncle. However, if I swing you over to the points, there's 9 points there. Now that is a lot of connections in a short sort of piece of bus wire. It would be 18 connections in total, 9 on the positive, 9 on the negative. Now I have this thing about neat wiring, and what I've found are these little things. These are called Wagyu connectors. Wagyu's the brand. And what I need to do is, again, bus wire, connect up what is essentially a dropper, but I will put that, so I'll feed that in there and clamp that down. Now that wire's not going anywhere, but what that does is that gives me now 1, 2, 3, 4 feeds that can come out to the 4 of the Autofrogs. So I've only got one cut in my bus wire to essentially power that, and then I can connect 4 Autofrogs up to that, and that'll be strategically placed underneath a set of 4 points. And it's as simple as that. It really is. So what I'm going to do is I am going to do this off camera because it's just impossible to film under the baseboard. I'll show you it set up, and yeah, really that's it. It'll work, hopefully. Time will tell. So I'll get on with my wiring, and then I'll show you what I've set up. Right, so this is what I was trying to explain earlier, and hopefully you can now see what I mean. So you get the 3 frog wires coming down to the baseboard for the 3 points. It's soldered in to the middle point on the Autofrog, and then I've got my blue power feeds. I decided to make life simple and put them all on the left. Sorry, excuse me with the filming, this is really difficult under here. So they're all on what would be the left hand side. And I've got my browns all on the right. And you'll see they'll come into there. That's the 3 there. And that's the power feed. Sorry, that one's a power feed. And that goes up onto the bus wire. Exactly the same with the browns. The 3 go in, and then the power goes up to the bus. So you're only having one connection on your bus wire for these 3 Autofrogs. And apart from the soldering and burning my fingers, mainly because I'm not very good at soldering, it wasn't really the hardest job. So I will show you the results up on the layout now. Right, the 3 points that have been connected up to the Autofrogs are this one, that one, and that one, which is quite handy because that's one of the main crossovers. Basically I did those 3 because they were close together, and it was just the easiest 3 to sort of experiment with. So what I'm going to show you is the difference it makes. Okay, I have not cleaned any of this track since I started shooting this video. Okay, I've got my black 5 here. This is notorious for not wanting to go over dirty points. Okay, so I've got Autofrog here, Autofrog here, no Autofrog here. So this is just been put in, ballasted, and I've done my best to try and clean the connections. So I'm going to put the black 5 on a crawl across the points and just watch what it does. Okay, so first autofrog point, no problem at all, totally smooth running. Into the second one, again, no bother at all. Now this is the point with no autofrog, so just plug and play after ballasting. Here the motor's struggling to get power. It has made it across. Sod's law that when I did this as a test, it actually stalled in that point. But you did hear the motor basically struggling to get electronic connection through it. That's why you heard the pitch change, hopefully. Whereas it went across these two, no problem. So aye, that's Autofrogs. Basically, do you notice the difference if you keep your track really, really clean? No. For example, like over here where I've not ballasted, these will work, no problem at all. Because I've ballasted, I've put glue and water down, that's attracted dirt and dust and trapped it. So now I have permanent power to there, and to there from my bus wire. So it doesn't matter how dirty this gets, this connection in here that is, between here and here, I will still have permanent power there, and as long as the top of the rails is clean, the trains will run over it, no problem. I no longer have to worry about this. So I'm going to buy some more Autofrogs and I'll get them all fitted, and then that's as far as I go with modifying the points, and that should give me total reliability across this entire junction. And all I'm going to do on the bottom is I've got some double sided sticky tape, so I'll just stick them up onto the baseboard just to make that near so it doesn't get caught. So I hope that's been useful. It's a handy little bit of kit. I'll just show you the case again. So Gaugemaster DCC Autofrog DCC 80. I think they're about £6-7 each, so they're not expensive. And yeah, if you're competent at wiring droppers to the track, there's no reason you can't be competent fitting these things. Trust me, if I can do it, anyone can do it. And try not to burn yourself as often as I did with the solder. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please do ask them. If you've got any comments, please leave them. Subscribe to the channel for more updates. And yeah, hope you found that useful. So thanks for watching, and speak to you again soon. Cheers.